likes to cook, you've just learned to bake, but now you want to take it to the next level. So maybe you're going to go and you're going to upgrade your knives. Or maybe you're going to get a sous vide machine, if anybody knows what that is, because we just got one in our house. And maybe you're going to go and you're going to learn how to, you're going to have to learn what a sous vide does. You're going to learn how, how do I cook with, water at a constant temperature? Maybe I need a really awesome thermometer now. And then if I get into grilling, I'm really going to need all these grilling parts. So think of it that way as your skills. So in the very beginning, you have to learn how to be organized. You have to learn how to communicate. You have to learn how to negotiate and how to influence. But along the way, when you start building your career, you're going to have to learn how to think of strategy. And like when I said impact earlier, how are you going to define that with metrics? How are you going to then communicate what it is this impact is? Because these are different skills that you're going to learn once you get out of school. I mean, you do it now. How else do you go and negotiate for better grades and for less homework or for a cooler class or a cooler teacher? You have to learn how to do all these things. And as you get into your career, you build that toolbox. You learn more skill set, you add to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna popcorn to myself actually because I'm like so jazzed up by that. I completely agree with that. So it's about building your toolbox, and I think the key thing inside of that is also, don't be afraid to fail. And if you do fail quickly and learn faster. I think inevitably when you go and you try out all this stuff, you're going to do continuing education. You're going to fail at some point, but just learn from that result and then pick up and carry on. And I think for me, my professional development, the key thing is, so I went to Berkeley undergrad. I did grad school at East Coast. And what I want everyone here to understand is you're all in higher education, which means that you've all been going at light speed since high school. Right? So at some point in there's going to be a little rough road and bumps, but you should find confidence in the fact that you're here and you're going to leave your institutions of higher education with degrees, you have the tools already to pick yourself up and keep going. So yeah, that's me.
So from personal experience, I would probably say work with your mentor/manager. If you do have a good manager or mentor, they should be able to at least guide you through your career development. Personally, my manager, when he became manager, he was originally just my coworker, and he was the SME for block storage, and I was basically learning from him. Once he turned into the manager, I basically had to take over his job. So he kind of showed me the way, like gave me different projects, told me people to talk to in order to start working on taking over his role as a block SME.
What's an SME?
Subject matter expert. This was said earlier. I didn't know what I was done. Put it on the spot.
One thing you'll find if you do end up in the Silicon Valley, there's a lot of acronyms. So
there's plenty of acronyms. Don't work for AMC. They have like 70,000 acronyms. They were my previous employer, and now they are my vendor, and they're so much nicer now than my customer. But yeah, work with your manager. Like I said, a good manager should be able to guide you in a way that you want to go, whether you want to go up or you want to go sideways. If you guys understand what up and sideways mean.
So generally, I think what the folks in that discussion, what that really means is, in most companies, there are verticals and horizontals across projects and specialties and product areas. So that's something I can talk to me after the panel. We'll talk about that. We'll move over to Regina.
So 5 words?
Yeah, 3 or 5.
5. Make your playbook, live it. So from the make your playbook standpoint, I'd say, especially in the world that we live in now, it's so easy to get lost in the stream of everything that's coming at you. You see a notification on your phone, there's a cool article to read, you want to check out the next Insta thing. So the make your playbook, I mean, it's really like step away from the technology and think about where you want to go and really like what are you curious about. And typically what you're curious about is going to guide you in what the next challenge is that really, I like to tell my kids it's the homework that you want to make for yourself, because if you don't do it, you can't turn off. You just you're consistently thinking about it. So when I think of make your playbook, you know, other people might say strategy, you know, whatever words that you use, really reflect and think about where it is that I want to go, because if I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about it. And then from a do it standpoint, I'll borrow some of your fail fast. I mean, really just do it. Don't think about the perfect way. Don't think, oh, okay, I'm getting graded on this and I need to get the A. Just what are the key things that you need to do to get you to going towards getting there? So that's it for me.
Forward. Be your best advocate. Okay, you know you best. You can represent yourself the best in an interview, in front of people, during an event like this. Don't be afraid to tell people what you've accomplished. Don't be afraid to tell people where you made the wrong turn maybe, but also tell people how you corrected yourself. Let that be known in the interview process as well, as we mentioned earlier. But don't be afraid to talk about the goods and bads, about anything about you, if you think that's going to help you either get a job or get a connection with the person that's interviewing you. Because we're all human. We're not these machines that are perfect in every way. We want to know that the people that we are hiring are going to be on the same level as us, or they're not these godlike creatures who are coming in to take our job away. You know, we want people who are humble. We want people who can own up to the mistakes they've made in the past, whether it be life or their career, and show us how they turned around, because that shows a lot about your character. That shows a lot about your persistence, your desire to be a better person, getting feedback from people and actually changing course or doing things differently because of the, say, negative feedback that was given to you is really hard to do. Especially coming from Filipino backgrounds. Whenever I hear something horrible from my mom, I'm like, sorry mom, oh my God. You know, we sometimes have this innate, I'm sorry, don't do that. Don't be sorry for what has happened in the past, because that has put you where you are today. Just learn from it, okay? So, your best advocate. I like how I just keep on going.
Seattle Sheriff gives me tacit permission to speak every now and then. My 3 words, take a chance. You're going to be faced with opportunities in the next few years, decades, etc., where you have the opportunity to do something different or do something challenging that you're not comfortable with. Oftentimes, that's your best opportunity right there. It's something that stretches you beyond your comfort zone and makes you realize that you can do a lot more than you thought you were capable of. And sometimes you're going to fail. But as several panelists across the day have mentioned, that's your chance to learn something. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid at all. And in not being afraid to take that chance, you become an even better person professionally and personally than you ever thought possible.
Yeah, I think that, so the general message here, I think, from the panel is just kind of, you gotta go out there, you gotta try it, you gotta do it. You know, don't be afraid of failing, because you have a toolbox to keep going forward. But I think we have just about 10 minutes left, and I'd love to, if the rest of the panel is ready, we'll open it up to the audience to see if anyone has questions. If you don't, then I'm just gonna go off my script. So